Good day and welcome to lesson 3 of our basic mathematics lessons. Today we are going to see how we can solve quadratic equations using the formula. And we did some substitution earlier. We discussed how to do it. We practiced it inside the formula. Now we're going to see how to get the answer. So let's take a look at this one that we had last time. We substituted A, B, and C, and we got this equation here. Now, there's several ways to do this. You can do this in many ways with your calculator, and I'm going to show you one method that I found the easiest because you put everything in there so that it looks exactly like this. The only change is if you've got something above the line, all of this above the line must be divided by this below the line. So I've got this lot here, all of that, divided by this lot here. And to do that, I just like to put brackets around the whole lot at the top. Do you see that? So I put a bracket around there and around there. Then this whole lot is in one term here, one bracket divided by whatever we've got at the bottom. And then we use the calculator to do exactly this. You still remember that a line means divided by, I hope. So let us just get a calculator here in front of us. I'll have to move it around so you can see this side and that side. So let's just start off with, let me put it like this, and then you can see I'm going to start with this bracket here. So I'll click bracket, and then it's minus, bracket, 4, bracket, and I'm not taking shortcuts. I'm putting everything in. So let's start with the plus first of all. So we'll put a plus in there, plus, then the square root sign. So where do I find the square root sign? There we go. Click the square root sign. Then I've got a bracket again. And the 4, remember that's the B value there. 4, close the bracket. Now I need to put the square sign. So I need to go up. Do you see this little x to the power of? So I click there. My cursor moves up. And I can put the 2 in. Okay? If I put that minus now, do you see I'm still up there? That doesn't work. Okay? So I have to delete that and go down. And how do I go down so my cursor is big again? Just the right arrow there. It moves out of that top area into the bottom area. Now I can put this minus sign in there. So I click on minus, another 4, another bracket, a 1, another bracket, then a bracket again, the 2 value, which is the C value. Remember C there? And I close the bracket. Now all of this is below the square root sign. But this bracket is out of that square root sign. You see it's between that one there and that one there. So again, I've got to move outside of the square root bracket. So I click the right arrow and I put my bracket in there. Can you see now this looks exactly the same as the top there? Let me just go back a bit. If I move it there, I can go back like this. Sorry, I've got to click a lot. Can you see? The bracket, there we go, minus 4 in brackets, plus square root sign, 4 squared, minus 4, and then we go to the right, bracket 1, bracket 2, and we close the big bracket. Now, all of that, I've got to divide by 2, bracket, 1, bracket. And that's my whole story. Equals, and there's my answer. If you click on that button there, it gives you minus 0.5857 and whatever. Normally they say, give me the answer to 2 decimals, so this will be minus 0.59, because if I round it to 2 decimals, it's 59. Now that is just the one answer. Okay? There's 2 answers because it says plus minus. So how do I get the minus there? I just go back with my cursor all the way there, and I say delete, put a minus in there, put my equal there, and my other answer is minus 3.41. And there's both answers to this sum. Let's do another one to see how I did that. Let's take this one where we had the 5 over 7 and it looked complicated. I'm going to show you now it's not complicated at all. This is what it looks like when we substitute it, and that you should be able to do now. The substitution, that if you practice enough of those, I'm sure you've got that down to a t. So that's easy. So now we've substituted. So let's do this whole thing. Remember the bracket around there, a bracket around there. So let's go to the calculator. Let's clear all of this. And I'm going to start off with a bracket. So I'm going to put the bracket in there, minus bracket 4, bracket, let's use the plus first, plus square root sign there, bracket 4, bracket, where do I get the square? I click on that x, I get the square at the top. I've got to move down because otherwise it stays up there. So I've got to click my arrow to just to move down. Minus 4, bracket, minus 3, bracket, another bracket, open a bracket. Now what now? Now I've got 5 over 7. That means 5 divided by 7. So inside that bracket, I just say 5 divided by 7, close the bracket. Now I've got that whole lot in there, but I must close the big bracket again. Same procedure. Click on the right arrow, get out under that square root sign, and put the bracket sign in there. Divided by 2, bracket, minus 3, close the bracket. It looks exactly like this whole thing here. I press my equal sign, and the answer is minus 1,44 if I round it to decimals. Have you got that? To get the other answer, I can go back with my arrows all the way there, delete the plus, put a minus in there, press equal, 13,44. Round that one. The 5 rounds the 3 to a 4. 13,44. That is my answer of this one. Just another one. I think you can try this one on your own. Not so difficult. If you substitute, this is what it looks like. You'll put a bracket, start off with a bracket, bracket minus 5, plus square root, same story, and you put it in there. The important thing is what I want to show you here. What if the quadratic equation looks like this? Can you see this is not the standard form? If I ask you what is A, what is B, what is C, that is not C, because it should look like this. You must always have equal to 0 on the right hand side. So how do I get equal to 0 on this side? Remember, an equal sign is the same as a scale. You can do on both sides the same thing and get rid of the 4. How do I get rid of the 4? I minus 4 on this side, then it's 0. But then I must minus 4 on this side as well. So it will look like this. There's the extra minus 4. There's the extra minus 4. It changes that to a 0. That becomes a 0. I've got 3x squared plus 6x minus 4 equals 0. Now it is in the basic form like that. Now I can say the A value is 3, the B value is 6, the C value is minus 4. Do you see that? In other words, 3 plus 6 minus 4. And if we use those values and we substitute, you can go ahead and find the answer for this one. I'm going to use just this last minute or two to see if we can get this one. So I've cleared this. We start off with a bracket, remember. So it's bracket minus bracket 6 bracket plus square root sign. Bracket 6 bracket, all of that squared. Get out of that squared position. Minus 4 bracket 3 bracket, another bracket minus 4, close the bracket, and then I must get out of that square root, close that big bracket, all of that divided by 2 bracket 3 bracket equals, and the answer is 4,75. To get the other answer, I just go back and change the sign to minus, and that will give me the other answer, which is minus 22,75. Okay, I hope you've learned something. I hope you see that solving quadratic equations with the formula is not so difficult. You can really get a lot of marks if you do that correctly. Next time we'll look at inequations and see how we get inequalities and see how we can do that. Goodbye.